Hello everyone. Welcome into this match of Roulette Rivals 16. I've started off here on the standings page just so we can kind of check out what their path is going to look like here to potentially getting into the KO stage after this match and the round 6 matchup. But this is Hashashin versus Phanium. These are two of our players that have gotten ties in this tournament so far. So looking at the standings here, as you can see, we've got Phanium there. Highlighted. He's currently in 22nd with 2.5 points and a 2.8 BH score. Hashashin directly below him there on 2.5 with a 2.6 BH score. So 4 is looking to be the minimum points needed to be able to advance to the knockout stage, given how the brackets or the standings have kind of come out so far. So a tie in this match is likely not a death sentence for either player. They could still pick up a win in the next round and hope their BH score is enough to pull them ahead in the top 16 there. But a loss in this match likely is elimination from the tournament. We've got other people on 3.5 as well. So currently Nezuko obviously could win next round. We've got other players here at 2.5 that have yet to play, notably Afro. So even if you are somehow able to get 3.5s into the bottom of the top 16, you're still going to be probably competing with others as well in that position. So yeah, that's what we've got going on. We will switch over to the actual match here. Just 1 second. Only real gamers have 4 points and 2.9 BH. Well, Luke still has to play, so my BH could go up. But I think everybody else in mine has played already. But let's see. Here is, let me get some match or some game sound here. There we go. Yeah, so we're starting off here on Ambrose Island. It was picked by Hashashin with a Colorado ban. Phanium picks Sapienza, Paris ban. Colorado ban there. It looks very clear to me based on statistics. I think just looking at the numbers, Colorado looks to be a preferred map for Phanium. And so, yeah, also can take a bit longer than some other maps to practice just because, you know, you've got spins that can often go into like the 7 minutes versus like Ambrose where most of your spins are going to be like 3 something. So can take a lot of time there. And if you don't have the commitment, helps as well. Sapienza from Phanium. Kind of a bit of an odd choice from basically any player except, I don't know, like Rupon or something because Sapienza is a very kind of cut and dry map. There's obviously some weird stuff you can do on there, but it's difficult to know going into the match that you're going to be favored on Sapienza. We will see how that turns out for Phanium, though. We've got Ambrose Island coming up in just 5 seconds. 2-2-0 for Hash, 9-3-0 from Phanium is the lifetime performance, but we've got Nullcrest, an Explosion Accident as the pirate, Akka Venthan with any sniper rifle in the suit, so this is going to be a put in the sniper rifle and hit the play button. Could get something for a null drive-by, but pistol will work just fine there. And of course, pirate is not that bad, and there is pirate you can get in the start, as I learned from watching back my VOD of my earlier match, because I have not done that before. But yeah, vast majority of the time on a spin like this, you're going to see the same sort of thing. So there we see the social hub start and the emetic there for Phanium. I would imagine that he did hit that. Yep, didn't really look, but yep, looks like he's good. And we've got a duck there from Hashashin's loadout. I didn't know that he also plays in 21/7, but that'll be used for his explosion accident more than likely. And we see Pirate Grab here from Phanium's got his suit in a good position to move on afterwards on that Akka kill. And going to go ahead and grab the explosion setup here. So could possibly have been worth bringing an oil canister because propane is very slightly out of the way on this map, but shouldn't make too much of a difference, especially here Phanium's got about a minute lead. But yeah, you could opt to bring like Seeker, Sniper, and oil canister from suit start. But we are going to see him head in here and grab this key and look to grab that propane as well for his null kill. And shouldn't have too much difficulty getting that once he's gone ahead and got that grabbed. Has even secret null just to make sure that he doesn't end up in some weird position around NPCs when he goes in for that. And also gets him closer to Akka afterwards. But yeah, there will be a panic, as chatters are mentioning. You can get away with panic without it hitting Akka, but you do have to go quickly enough. And so far, it looks like Phanium is doing so. Is opting for a distraction here for one of the raiders. Hashashin, meanwhile, has got it started here now and is headed over to drop off his bomb. Phanium kind of needs to worry about hitting himself here, and he was a bit too slow. He really needed to take that double shot immediately, but pause between, which gives the guard enough time to turn around and spot him. But yeah, I think just worried about being too close and blowing yourself up there. But I don't know. I would think that you would probably always be fine, like placing it like kind of like next to the toilet in front of him. But yeah, hopefully not the same problem later on here as Hashashin is making his way over to the propane tank. Has the key in hand as well. And Phanium now has a breaching charge to remote that kill with in the loadout. Hash is making his way over with the pirate now, so we'll see if he has the same kind of problem here. But he did have a duck. I don't know what happened to that. Oh, it's on the ground somewhere, apparently, because I see a detonator in his inventory, but maybe that was the delivery bomb, so actually I'm not entirely sure. But Phanium's got the same pirate as well, is now dropping off his bomb. I was in the briefcase and he just forgot to unpack it, but gets him the durian as well. And I guess is looking now to just a medic Akka to be sure that the panic doesn't influence her. He is kind of running out of time on Noel puking, but it's not really a big deal because he can just do the drive-by. It's just going to be a little bit awkward with that concussive, trying to make sure that you can blow up the propane and hit him with it without knocking him out and getting him spotted immediately. But there we do see the durian. And gun placed there, so he should have a decent amount of time to come back for Akka. Phanium has his propane tank again. And headed over to Noel. So Crest still puking here, and he should be good even without knocking Noel out. Just waiting extra safe on that panic. Phanium is able to get away with it using that breaching charge. Even if Crest gets knocked out here, he should die fast enough, and there is the explosion accident kill for Hash in a similar timing, but he does have a bit more work done on Akka. We see him pick his suit back up, and would assume has the sniper rifle there in that briefcase. Somebody almost just panicked into the chef's room there. So, looks to be boxing that just to be safe. Phanium here now approaching Akka, who has panicked. But he should be in a decent position to get her isolated in Smith's room once this all ends, but it kind of depends on the movement from the guards here, who are just now starting to calm down. Hash has made his way up and should have a free Akka kill here, and will be able to get out almost certainly before the guard shows back up. Dropping that sniper doesn't really help with that, but I think he's fine either way. And we might end up seeing a photo finish, but Phanium looking to grab a seeker shot. Looks like it's probably going to put him out of range. And yeah, you can take the shot there from behind that window. But regardless, Hash is going to be out before she even gets to the toilet, so... Even if this is somehow fast enough with a photo finish, which I don't think it will, given that we're still on 30 seconds, that will be a win for Hash regardless, and will be 2-0. So good to take his own map pick there, heading here into Sapienza as map number 2. I do want to check out Paris stats here.
With the control unit in pieces, the satellite's no longer our problem.
So Paris is a 100% win rate map for Hash, but obviously that kind of depends on who the opponents were, on if you think that he's a Paris master or not. But regardless, could just be thinking it's a map that he might kind of like, and also typically a quick one, so you can always end up with a bit of a toss-up on quick maps regardless, unless you're like, you know, insanely consistent player. Like, I don't know, Dane is kind of the first person that comes to my mind on that front. But either way, Sapienza is our map number 2. We've got 3-3-0. performance from Hash and 19-8-0 from Phanium, but obviously a lot of experience there for him. But of course, Sapienza is a map that can always be done without too much of a struggle, just using the standard strats. So could definitely be a lead for Hash if there is a Phanium rip, regardless of what both players' strats are, even with that discrepancy in experience. We see Phanium practicing right now on maybe a stylist grab or something like that. But is Sniper Gang, which is kind of disappointing. It looks like he's grabbing the folding knife. Always sad to see someone be part of the Sniper Gang. Has a breaching charge as well, which is interesting with that. All right, sorry, an EMP charge. But yeah, pre-plan on Sapienza is typically just either a sniper or an EMP, and then as many sedatives as you can bother to have, because that will help you with pretty much any stage of the map at any point. But yeah, we saw a Seeger Ghost actually for Hash, which is a little bit weird. Typically, you want to bring like the Viper or I don't know, I guess like the Tactical or whatever, because that will let you shoot through the virus and hit the technician or the hazmat behind it without killing them. But with the Ghost, you will pierce through and kill him. So we'll have to be careful with that. Probably need some kind of distraction there to be able to get away with it. But you can also hit the base of the virus container, I believe, and you won't shoot through to the hazmat. Just kind of have to make sure that you're placing that very carefully. Looks like Hash is practicing the Lafayette grab. Yes, I am 100% full auto gang. But sometimes you just got to bring the sniper anyways for loadout. Wow, okay. Kind of insane to get away with that, with like the back half of his body sticking out, but does have that there if Lafayette does show up in the spin. We got about 30 seconds there. 3:45 is the map record. I'm sure that's quite beatable. Just kind of depends on what we see here. Phanium does actually, wow, I didn't even realize the history there. 2-1-0 Phanium head to head. So half of Hashashin's plays on this map have been against Phanium, and he has beat him once. So we will see if that can be tied up there in 10 seconds here. Let's see what we have. It is Silvio Caruso, letter opener, Mansion Security, and Francesco DeSantis injected poison as Roberto. So Roberto's kind of annoying, but not if you are planning on him from the start. So yeah, pretty quick here. Very easy Francesca kill, as well as a Mansion disguise for both targets. Means you don't even need to start outside. And trying to remember where the letter opener is. Is the letter opener on Franny's desk? I don't remember. But that is what pops up in my head. But yeah, you're probably going to want to see either a gardener or a kitchen assistant start, because that will get you working on Roberto straight away. Is on Franny's desk. Okay, cool. And you could even do the banana, I believe is what you use for that, to get him instantly at the start. But Phanium has opted in on an emetic for Roberto, which will get him inside to his own bathroom. Or Franny's bathroom, I guess, probably, is what it is. But then we'll be able to go up and get that kill fairly quickly. Not much to worry about. You can kind of do whatever you want in that office, and even if the second guard comes in, it's not going to matter very much, because Franny will be poisoned. Hashashin is head around back. We saw a... what is the room called? Safe house. We saw a safe house start from Hashashin, and he is now moving in on grabbing. Roberto has actually distracted both NPCs here, which could kind of give him a problem, but he looks to be fine. Just no extreme sight lines, hopefully, on that. as Phanium has now gotten Roberto boxed up and disguise on the body. We see headed upstairs now for that Francesca kill. Hashashin in the same disguise, can start moving in the same direction. Just going ahead and knocking out Marcello like Phanium did earlier. Loadout here is pretty free. Obviously, going to have to bring that injected poison, but other than that, you can kind of have whatever you want. So, should have some tranks to spare, which Phanium does. And go ahead and use one of those. Just want to make sure that Franny is a good position to not move, so you can go up behind and poke. And she leaves the spot pretty quickly, but getting here straight away will give him a good kill there. Hashashin is moving up in the same direction. We see Phanium has a super long Franny animation trying, oh my god, trying to get that mansion security for his Silvio kill so he doesn't have to go downstairs. And almost gets cooked on the other guard coming in because of that animation, but was able to get it. Hashashin rips, standing up mid disguise change through the window, and that is going to be Phanium's map to lose at this point. We see Silvio coming in on his natural cycle, and Trank and a throw, and another throw into Silvio's head. We did see him grab that letter opener, is going to be the kill there. Yeah, I mean, I feel like given that Silvio's not NTKO, you can kind of just do the same thing as what Phanium's doing now, and then just go down and take the disguise, so you don't have to stress too much about the security. Is always going to be an issue with the kind of RNG that is, well, it's not really RNG, but kind of the weird behavior that Franny's second guard has. We do see the kill there from Phanium, headed downstairs now with that EMP. I don't know if he grabbed the key card, and hopefully he did. So that, yes, he can now get down here. It has that EMP already set in the hand, so should be him out here relatively quickly to tie it up 2-2. Head into our RNG maps, which I have intentionally not looked at, so hopefully I'll be just as surprised as everyone else. So there is the ledge drop. EMP, Hashashin here has gotten back to position with Roberto, but not going to be able to quite get there before Phanium is able to exit. 422, the RTA there, and definitely very clean on the first try. So good as well. That was the map pick 1. Always feels good. And we're going into map number 3, Santa Fortuna. Oh, brother. So this could be a long one. We will have at least one more map after that. Potentially 2. But SF in 3 minutes. 1-3-1 for Hash. 16-9-1 for Phanium. So you got to imagine Phanium's probably relatively happy about this one. 559 personal best is quite good. We see there as the map record is only 11 seconds faster by Quat set in the previous tournament. Phanium does actually have this head-to-head as well from one of those matches in a 1-0. SF is a very heavy map in terms of strat variety, in terms of what is... I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. Like, there's a lot of the different strats are viable at any given spin, so can see a lot of back and forth there. Comes down to planning, and a hard map to practice, especially as RNG, given how long some of the spins can take. So definitely favors the more experienced player here. Can be hard to find time to practice at all, let alone for maps 3 through 5. So we'll see how it goes. We got 2 minutes here. Can definitely have some weird conditions, stuff like Jorge consumed, Jorge Electro. Just kind of accidents in general are really the real sticking point for this map. But you can also have some live kills that can trip you up if you're not prepared for it, like Rico Live, depending on what the disguise and stuff are. So might be weird. I am not adminning, so I have zero clue what the spin will be. And Phanium there was practicing just an immediate chef kill on Rico. Loadout for this map is typically going to be like a pistol, a seeker, and then like sedatives if you have room. Phone is always a useful item. I think maybe a little bit less so on SF compared to other maps because you spend most of the map trespassing, so it can be hard to find utility there. But we see some emetics, some tranks, pistol for both, and yeah, suit start kind of always going to be the plan. It's typically the most versatile, so I've run out of things to say. Pre-plan actually is mansion start there, so it could be a soft bump as well, obviously, if it's not a suit spin. Can I listen to the lovely menu music for the next 15 seconds?
Duel starts in 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
All right, what do we have? There is Rico Delgado, Electrocution as a drug lab worker, Jorge Franco, No Pacification Letter Opener as the tattoo artist, and Andrea Martinez, Any Remote Explosive Weapon as the Hippo Whisperer. So there are a lot of opportunities for Rico Electrocution. That being like the aquarium, you can get him with some of the puddles outside the front of the mansion. You can get him by the hippo enclosure. I'm sure there's others I'm not thinking of. I don't think the sink in his office works, but I could be wrong about that. That's something I haven't. Office ISO is not something I've done in a long time. But we see Phanium is sticking to that mansion staff start, going ahead and taking out the cameras. Hashashin with the emetic might be leaving Rico outside the front as a remote kill for the end. So you could kind of set up Rico, then go set up Andrea, and then bring your tattoo artist over, get your hippo disguise through the construction zone. Kind of remotes everything there for you. Looks like a soft lockdown from Hashashin. Oh yeah, one I did forget to mention is the hose that's out front here by the garage. And that is seeming to be what both players are going to opt to do. You are able to relatively safely leave him out there as long as you deal with both of these guards. So, car battery as well, but I imagine it will be remoted. Not super loadout heavy on this spin. We see Phanium now dragging as Hashashin gets the isolation. Only difference here really being that Hashashin has slightly more loadout flexibility, but also that he's going to have red guns for the rest of the spin, most likely. As, yeah, we see the micro taser there set up for Phanium. That will be his last kill, and now is going to want to head over to Andrea, probably. But you could also do her at the end. It's just kind of awkward having to get tattoo artist in the middle. Hash actually gets seen there. I did not know that those guys could spot you. Thought that was out of their sight range, but it looks like it's not. And we did see Phanium almost get spotted with his body out in front of the garage. He was getting whooshed there. He gets pushed out of the way by the birds that for some reason have collision. But yeah, now headed over to Andrea and going to set that up with a breaching charge. So 2 kills, uncompleted but fully set up past that point. Not a big fan of the Electra opportunity. I think it can make a lot of sense depending on what the rest of the kills are. But yeah, I mean, soft bump makes bridge a little bit easier. It is slower though. Overall, I would think, because you're kind of waiting twofold there versus just having to drag Rico into the puddle. But potentially more risky, obviously, as we've seen here. And Phanium, no issues here knocking out Andrea. Gonna have that breaching charge. Will be red for a while, but should be fine. We've played this game so long that it's usually pretty easy to tell if you've ripped or not, so nothing really left out for him at this point. And now going to be headed over to P-Power and then probably to the Hippo Whisperer. It's like just over 5, I think, that Jorge goes back into the pilot's shed. So probably just going to be looking to try and get there before then. I don't think Phanium grabbed the letter opener. I could be wrong. No, he did. Okay, that was the first thing he did. I was assuming he was going to do it second, but did actually grab that. You see it there in the loadout, because it'd be a pretty big problem for him if he hadn't. We see Hash is now going over to Andrea's compound as well. Phanium in that disguise, now going to be heading back through the construction area. As I said earlier, going to give you very quick access to that Hippo Whisperer disguise, and not too much of a problem in the trespassing. So, Tattoo Artist also notably is allowed on the outside of the mansion grounds, so not even going to need to trespass to bring that over to Jorge. We see Hashashin has the letter opener. Going to get that same double knockout here. And probably will be following pretty closely to Phanium strat. Just obviously a problem of currently being behind because of that rip. I think otherwise would have been super close, but it does kind of come down to Phanium here. He is headed back through to grab that Hippo Whisperer. Honestly, probably the most intensive thing that's still left to do in this spin is remember to not knock Jorge out, but it's not something you really need to do in the first place ever, so just need to get a clean Hippo Whisperer grab here. And, wow, actually opts to get him... Oh, okay, I thought he was going down the stairs. He was going up the stairs, so no problems there on that KO. Just needs to get this Hippo Whisperer here before he goes down. And is going to be safe. Ow! Okay, that was very close to ripping him to the bush lure there. I was going to say it's very safe to knock him out from behind, but had he turned around, that would have either been a frontal and alerted the guards, or been a rip entirely. But did get that there. We see the button press, kills Andrea back to green guns. Hashashin is making his way back through the same area to get to the Hippo Whisperer. So we will keep our eyes on Phanium for the moment. Can't imagine he would be in here without an emetic, given how flexible this loadout is. So could see a peekaboo here by the pilot's shed, but he is just a little bit far away from that. Jorge's still got to stand in front of the... I don't even know what it's called. It's not really a shed, but back over there he kind of checks his iPad before he moves. But Phanium can also take advantage of this time to grab his Drug Lab worker and detonate for Rico, grabbing every single item on the map. So it could be a peekaboo. Just need to play it safe on getting to the helicopter past that point. This KO here very safe on this Drug Lab worker. And that'll get him into 2 out of 3. Hashashin currently working on Hippo Whisperer, and maybe just waits for him to come back downstairs. We see Phanium button press on his kill number 2. Just Jorge left to go, and Hash actually going to do a throw lure just to be extra safe, and will probably prevent him from getting any of the same shenanigans that Phanium almost ripped to. And disguise grab there. We see Phanium gets the peekaboo and is doing a quick item throw to make sure the guard doesn't follow too quickly. There is the kill. Jorge's guards will now fully abandon him, so that body is not going to be found for him. Just needs to safely get over to that helicopter, or perhaps move backwards towards the villa and take a car exit. We see item throw for this lady. Hopefully no Hausen-esque rips here. Okay. That gets enforced off. Lots of throws. Eventually she will turn around on investigating that. He is good to make his way to the exit. Not quite sub 7, but still a very nice first try there. For Phanium, 8 minutes. Hashashin actually closing in rather nicely after that rip, but might be faster in-game time. Phanium is out first, though, so that is going to be 2-4, but definitely quite competitive there. Ash certainly could have had it on doing that strat had he not ripped initially. Was just very, very slightly faster, I think, on the rest of the execution. Berlin! Oh my god. You people are spoiling me. So we've got Berlin as map number 4. 1-3-1 on Hash1717. Phanium 14-10-0, 705. And Perhaps not anymore, but Berlin used to be Phanium's favorite map for roulette, I guess. So, I mean, even if he hasn't practiced it in a while, you got to imagine that he knows what he's doing. And looking at it, with your opponent having a 17-17 personal best, you can always beat that time on a first try. But obviously, maybe paints that Hashashin not super confident on Berlin. That record kind of ties into it as well. Looks like the last loss that Hash had on this map was to Reaper. So going to be a kind of a tough opponent no matter what. Let's see when else he has played it. Mikulers and RR11, I think, was the last one before that, which is like ancient history. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of Hashashin's play on Berlin is pretty old. That win there was against Pidgey in Roulette World Championship, Roulette Rivals World Championship 2021. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of a toss-up on. I mean, yeah, that's prehistoric. I mean, I was doing baby's first Berlin strats in RR 4 and 5, and probably also 6. So like, I don't know. We'll have to see. Obviously, Hashashin could have more recent experience on Berlin. I did not catch that Reaper match, so I don't know how close it was, but who knows? Phanium is practicing basically exactly the spin I had earlier, which could have been record. Feels bad, man, but both of us ripped anyways. About a minute left here. Pre-plan is kind of weird on Berlin. I mean, you're always pre-planning for suit just because it's like 44% of spins. But you can definitely vary on the items. Typically, I just bring Pistol Seeker and a Medic Gas Device. Just because sedatives are almost completely useless on this map for the most part. And not really anything else that you typically will need. So it can just help with saving certain situations, stuff like Florida Man. But we will see. I have been considering becoming Kruger Gang on Berlin just for the extremely niche pistol shot after the dealer grab. So Hashashin might be a huge gamer here. But yeah, typically you will have to make a number of changes to your loadout on this map because there's a lot of stuff that either is not on the map at all or is really bad to go out of your way for. So what is the spin? It is Electrocution Biker, Fall as Dealer, Silent Shotgun as Rolf, Kitchen Knife as Club Crew, and Loud SMG as DJ. So no suit start here. 3 uniquely downstairs disguises, as well as Biker, which can be obtained downstairs. Club Crew as well makes you think that this is not entirely bad spin for Rolf Lure. I think you can do quicker, but like, you know, it's a very safe and quite good way to do this spin. All you need is the silenced shotgun and the loud SMG. Phanium has brought those both in with a Club Crew start. And looks like very quickly going to make his way over to Lowenthal's area. There is going to be a kitchen knife close by for him to grab. Will be interesting to see who he opts to go for electrocution. Perhaps even Thames right here. Can kind of be a set and forget on that one if he's brought in the taser. Hashashin starting in DJ. I think even without doing Rolf Lure, DJ start can be good here. Just because you can basically be completely independent of any timings, because most of the time the only timings you need to care about are the ones downstairs. So starting there kind of helps out with that. We see Hashashin is quickly moving in on Chamberlain here, as Phanium is in the biker hideout. Gonna actually medic him, which is likely gonna be that electrocution setup. Can get that really quickly, just need to make sure that you're not ripping to the extended illegal action there. Shouldn't be too difficult, not a lot of eyes around here. And then probably it will just be the club crew kill onto... okay, that's not what you want to do. I don't know what the point of that was. Because that puddle extends more than far enough to hit him at the toilet. But just kind of trying to do things too quickly there costs him. Not too far behind, though. Hashashin looks like going for an medic immediately on Chamberlain to get that soundproof dealer kill, and in the meantime is going to go for a Rolf grab really quick. So there is 3 KOs, very nice, and can go ahead and do some knockouts in the security room and then get that soundproof kill as well. Phanium kind of doing the same thing. As I was saying last time, that looks to be his kitchen knife kill, because he can, of course, grab... Oh, actually opting for a restart there is kind of surprising, because that run was far from unsalvageable. And, yeah, we see Hashashin did get that loud kill, no KO. Panic there on Chamberlain, but does not matter at all. He's got everyone KO'd. You can actually get like a psychic exclamation mark from outside if you do like a silenced gun kill and it panics them from the bathroom. They can pull the guys outside, but obviously you're gonna knock them out here regardless. He knows you're watching, Chris. The run has to be perfect. Well, I think maybe he might just be wanting to see map number 5 then. But obviously, I mean, certainly has not lost at this point. So he's still kind of chilling. Hashashin could use the security room for this electrocution here on Montgomery. That is itemless. And he's got a silenced gun. We see the knockout there. Could also be a silent shotgun kill. We do see that stashed down in the boiler room. Triple shot on Banner. So far, a lot of good knowledge from Hashashin. I mean, 1, 3, and 1, you would think maybe he doesn't know the strats, but he does very much seem to know the strats. And gonna get him his 3rd isolation there really quickly. Gonna be a little bit awkward, the fall kill, but he can get the silent shotgun and the electrocution kill down here. He could even opt to drag into the security room, or into Rolf's office, sorry, because that's already cleared out, so no time loss on that front. We see Phanium now is able to get both of these kills that we were talking about earlier. That is heard. I had an absurd frontal kill heard earlier today, actually. But, yeah, just very nice to be aware of that. And we do see that he is. So headed downstairs now in his biker disguise, as Hashashin is currently approaching kill number 3. Looks like that's going to be electrocution, and then he's going to get the fall kill back up top towards the end. Phanium, though, is not going to have to go back up if he doesn't want to, if he does do that kill in the office. But otherwise would have to be a kill onto Banner, which is a little bit awkward. But if he's quick here, his timing on Swan will not be too terrible, but I don't even know if it's... actually, considering he still has the dealer to go on that grab, probably puts that out of range anyways. But he has got Montgomery here on the line for that isolation. Hashashin is now heading over to the dealer, 3 kills down, as Mike has been kind enough to mark off for us here. So this is not going to be his NTKO, but this is kind of a weird position to do a loud kill anyways, so especially with no KO, probably going to want to pass on that regardless. And he should have good timing here on Chamberlain. Looks like he's going to do a double knockouts, actually. That could pose a bit of a problem for him. But he will be fine as long as he drags this body, guaranteed. And it looks like he is thinking to do that. We see Hashashin, sedative syringe on map there for the dealer grab. Gets it safely, so that body's fine. there is I can't talk. Wow, okay, that's not what you wanted, but he should still be fine. Bring him in here. Actually, a little bit helpful. The only problem is that door's not going to close because he is still hooked into it. So, he kind of needs to close it manually. Okay, now he's good. Should all be fine. As long as that door closes. Somebody did hear that, actually. And that is cooked. I'm curious on where that was heard from, because that wasn't an extension of the initial panic. And his door was closed there. It seemed like they panicked before the gunshot even happened. So it might be some weird chaining with him going into combat. Well, she seemed to ignore, like, she didn't get scream lured there at the start. Because, like, Chamberlain got an exclamation point, started running in, and the woman just immediately walked back onto the dance floor. But then the panic later on led one of the other guys to run into where Montgomery was, and that was a body found. I don't know, I'll have to go back to watch that and see if anything looked weird there, but I don't have instant replay set up. Meanwhile, Hashashin is in here. Looks like actually going to do the kitchen knife kill. I would have thought that was a setup for the fall. But there is that done, and then maybe just going back up to green for kill number 5. And not much gone wrong for him so far in this attempt. Obviously, we can see Phanium was very likely to be out a little bit quicker if perhaps Chamberlain had gone a bit smoother for him, but, I mean, not really seen anything super wrong with Hashashin's gameplay so far. He very quickly identified a strat and has stuck with it, so super nice to see there. We're going to see a knockout and maybe even a cute little push. Safe to do that there, I think, no matter what on cycles, so just needs to get those scooter keys and he will be done. I missed a little bit of the middle of his run, just because it was mostly just setting stuff up. But I don't think there was really anything unsafe left out. And yeah, he's done. Bite keys, that's going to be a 4-4 tied up. So we will be seeing map number 5. Whatever it is. Joker gonna be happy. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Dartmoor here is disgusting. I mean, I guess at worst, a photo finish tie, as I said earlier, still gets them on a path to getting to 4 wins. So, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. They would just both need to win their next matches to be able to get that in there. Yeah, tie would definitely be interesting for the bracket. You love it deep down. I would say I liked it in RR4. Yeah, that's about it. They're 2.5. They're 2.5 right now. These were 2 of the players that have had matches that have ended in ties. So, yeah, I mean, if you lose this map, you're basically out of the tournament. Obviously, you can still play round 6, but you're not going to make the KO stage, almost assuredly. Not mathematically, but basically. So, yeah, you really need to get either a win or a photo finish tie here. And even a win in this match is probably, in its own, not going to be enough. Because that'll put you on 3.5. So, still got the next match to worry about for both these players regardless. Obviously, Phanium has the tied map record here. And the performance stats are quite different. But practicing Dartmoor over and over and over and over again does make you faster. But not by a whole lot. So... the margins here might not be as extreme as they appear in the performance stats. I think that map record is an electrocution kill, so like kind of set up and leave. But it's either going to be behind mansion or PI vast majority of the time. Maybe we'll see something weird and they'll have different starting locations, but almost always you're going to see the same starting location on this map for both players. We've got the lucky shotgun smuggled in the bathroom for Phanium. I mean, I am part of Shotgun Gang, but you kind of got to smuggle something just in case. It can only help you. But 30 seconds here. No head-to-head here on this map. But yeah, it does kind of all come down to Dartmoor, which is something you always love to see as a spectator, Kappa. Hash says, F me, if I was going to have a chance here, I really had to get this done before Dartmoor. So maybe not too confident, but I mean, go either way. We've got, what is the spin? Alexa Carlisle as something. Barbarazer as the mansion staff. Wowee, Barbarazer. Okay, so that is upstairs, and that is going to lend you towards potentially starting that. I have no idea what the difference is on starting up versus starting behind here. I can't imagine it's like giant margins. I would think at first glance that you would rather start upstairs. But then, like, even if you do, the thing is you're going to lose time to planning anyways. So probably regardless, this is the way to go. And yeah, I mean, both players very quickly in on the typical mansion staff grab. And going to see the normal grab on the Fernsby here. Not even trespassing this time. Hash does have a slight lead, but we don't know what the stream delay is at this point. He is getting into position and then can very easily head up for that Barbarazer because not trespassing, or just opt to immediately grab the token. Either way, should be good to go. Hash actually opting for very quickly getting that token and does get it. Phanium likely doing the same here. Yep, tucked up there against that statue. Both players able to get it. So, I mean, Hash does lead on a photo finish here. I wasn't watching load times, assuming no insane stream delay, because they're kind of doing the same thing, and Hash not very confident, but did kind of immediately know what needed to be done here. Do not rip to this lady. Does not. And maybe throw from outside if you're a mega gamer. Phanium's headed back downstairs. We see the car keys grabbed there from Hash. Throw through the window. Very almost gets spotted there just because that is an illegal item, but the throw is fully legal and is out with green guns. And that's probably going to do it for Hash. I mean, I cannot possibly imagine that Phanium ever loads long enough here to make the difference. And yeah, that's going to be a 6-4. Hashashin staying in it here going into the next round. Going into 3.5. We'll check that out in just 1 second. I'll wait a moment, just refreshing, just to make sure Mike has time to hit that finalize. And yeah, so as we talked about, both were on 2.5. Let's go ahead and do that now. Oh yeah, I guess technically we do have to do the photo finish, even though it's 100% for Hash, but do actually have to wait on that wave. Or maybe he doesn't wave. I don't know. Either way, we can sit here because there's nothing to see on the other scene anyways. But yeah, so that would put Hashashin on 3.5. So his next opponent kind of depends on another match in that case, because yeah, we do see the wave there, so that is guaranteed. Afro and Luke.png still have to play. Purple, I believe, has already played this round, which means he will not be moving in with 3.5. Yes, he played against Nezuko already. All right, we can refresh. Yeah, so we will see what I'm talking about here. So this next matchup kind of depends on Afro here. I don't know if Hash and Nez have played. That's also important to check. Okay, they actually have played before. Regardless, actually, these guys will be playing outside of the ties because if Afro is to make it with a win against Luke, she will also go up to 3.5. So going into the next round, there will be people to match up against there. But since Nez and Hash have already played against each other, and let's see what Afro's done. No. So one of those two players in that case would play up against Afro, and the other player would play against, looking at the numbers, somebody on 3 wins, because that means a Luke loss. But if Luke is to win, then that'll put him up in 4 points. Scruffy will have to play down, and the 3.5s will split. So in the case of Luke winning, Nezuko or Hashashin will play up into the 4 bracket, and the other one will play down into the 3s, because you kind of need to make an even number there. But yeah, that's the future. Hashashin now with a 2.6 BH going into the next round. Phanium is at a 3.0 BH, so in terms of BH, looking quite good. Definitely he is going to want to see all of his previous opponents winning in the next round, because it is possible for him to still win. And I think with that BH, I think if there are 3.5s, it is pretty likely. But Nezuko-chan is kind of favored out ahead of him, so we will have to see. But yeah, of course, not out of it yet. But that's for round 6. Draw will be tomorrow. We've got a couple matches still left to go. I'm just looking here, seeing if I can give any more insight. 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 on 3 right now. 6 of them should advance to 4. So that would put 14 at 4 or higher. Yeah, it's going to be close for the 3.5s, for sure. But everyone at 4, I think, should be safe at this point. But obviously it comes down to standings, and there are some kind of strange things that can happen here. We'll have to see. Nobody on 4 points can be guaranteed, just because since matchups haven't been announced yet, there's no way to know how the BH will turn out. But tomorrow we will have more news on that. Upcoming matches here. Still a couple left, I think 3. Yeah. So we've got Luke and Afro. That's going to be in 7 hours. Very early morning for Americans, very, very early, or regular morning for Europeans. That is at 9 European, I believe. So that will be Luke and Afro casted by Bella. As I said, that will have some implications for matchups later on. So definitely good to watch, and is important for both of those because they are both quite close to advancing as well. So hype match there. Linux and Pidgey is going to be quite a bit later in the day, and then both of these kind of matches will wrap out our round 5 just before the round 6 draw. Lots of stuff to happen. I'm sure there'll be some good analysis to be had going into that round. Especially, I think InfoFun's been working on some stuff, but we will see. And that's going to do it for me here. But yeah, let me actually check. Okay, Pidgey and Linux on 2 wins. Fusk and Ducker are both on 2 wins as well, I believe. But I mean, those are good players there. So even though they're probably going to have a rough path to the top, can still advance off of 2 wins at this point. So all 3 of these matches super important. But thanks for hanging out. I'm going to go to the idler and see if there's anyone to raid. If not, I will just end it. But thanks, Mike, of course, for adminning. It was a very nice watch, and I'll see you guys later.